Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Danny here from our humble home, and in today's video I'm going to be putting up some Paste the Paper wallpaper that I bought from Wallpaper Direct, and I was talking about it in a previous video, the Temu wallpaper video that I had uploaded, and my experience with the Temu wallpaper / contact paper. And I mentioned that I was buying some wallpaper from Wallpaper Direct, and I'll be putting that up in the spare room. I've actually painted all of the spare room. I've painted the walls, the skirting, the doors, even the ceiling. It's a bit patchy, but I did it, and now it's time to put up the wallpaper. I'll just be going through the process with you and explaining it and showing you along the way, and any issues or points that I'd like to point out to you. But I have a feeling it's going to be a lot better than the Temu contact paper, that's for sure. So we might get started. So this is the wallpaper that came within a few days actually, and it's called Tropical Floral Wallpaper. You can get a few of these in different colors. This one's the pink and green. It comes in a 10-meter length and it's 53 centimeters wide, and it's a Paste the Paper wallpaper. I don't know whether any of you have seen the June Motel. There was a series on it on Netflix a few years ago actually, and I just really love their aesthetic and their vibe. I love their wall accents, and I love the beautiful wallpapers they use when they renovated the hotels and that sort of thing. It's so pretty, and it sort of gave me the inspiration for this. So on the left is the June Motel wallpaper and the right is the Wallpaper Direct. And even these wall panels were an inspiration, I guess. The faux wall panels I put up were an inspiration from the June Motel, but I mean they're also in fashion at the moment anyway. But that's sort of the look I was going for with this wallpaper. So the first thing I guess was to actually measure the length of the wall and then to cut the wallpaper to length. I think, well, for me in the first one I didn't bother too much about where the pattern started. It didn't really matter. That it would on the following panels that I would put up, but on the first one it didn't really matter. I didn't want to waste it though, so I sort of made it at the top of the roll. And I'm using the Super Fresco wallpaper glue, but Wallpaper Direct also do sell their own wallpaper glue, but I think any will work. In saying that, this is Paste the Paper wallpaper, and I didn't paste the paper, I pasted the wall because I thought it would be easier just to paste the wall and put the wallpaper onto that, but I actually found it didn't really stick very well, so I did end up pasting the paper as well. But also another thing is this glue I had already made up, and that was left over from the Temu wallpaper video, and it was sort of a runny mixture. So it was runny, and also it had been sitting there for a week or two, so I'm thinking maybe that's why it just didn't stick to the wall when I pasted the wall. I don't think so though. I think you actually have to paste the paper, but in the end I ended up pasting both the wall and paper for each strip that I did. So in the beginning you would have seen me sort of measuring, and I did measure off the side wall. I'm not putting it directly in line with the side wall. I measured off about 53.5 centimeters and drew a line down. If you go off the side wall, there's a danger that it can be crooked. If your wall's crooked, your wallpaper will be crooked. Funnily enough though, when I drew the actual line down and I was putting the wallpaper on, it didn't follow the line. It sort of was going crooked, so maybe I just didn't measure it properly. I'm not too sure, but it did work out in the end. First come up, and I don't know why, but you can see the line that I drew, it's not going straight. And I don't know why, because I started going straight at the top and it was all good. And how I said that I was going to be like half a centimetre off the end of the wall, well, I'm actually going to have to cut along the end of the wall. But I'm thinking this pattern is so haphazard, like it's not a stripe, it's not a check, it's not something that you're going to notice is crooked. Because by the time I get to the other end, I may be a little crooked, but we'll just see. At this point, I'm not caring. That's okay. I had to glue the wall and the paper, so that's another thing. It was easy to cut. Just make sure you have a really sharp knife, and I used the actual wallpaper tool to hold the wallpaper down just so it didn't tear. This wallpaper was $55 for a 10-meter roll. I thought that was actually so cheap. And when it arrived, I sort of thought it would be more vinyl-y. It is actual paper, but it's a very, very thick, good quality paper. And it's not textured, it's very smooth, and it does feel lovely, and it does look lovely once it's up. It's a beautiful paper. So, like I said, for each roll I will actually glue the wall as well as the paper, and I just continue to apply the strips. So when cutting your wall strips, you can see the piece that's hanging over there, and when I'm trying to match up the pattern, there was a large piece overhanging at the top. So they say when you're cutting your wallpaper out to match and the pattern's matching, just go over 5 centimeters top and bottom. And I think that's the reason, well, 2 reasons. One is you don't want to waste your wallpaper, and secondly, you don't want it hanging down like this, because it's going to rip your wallpaper off the wall when you put it on. Like it sort of will pull it down. So I ended up sort of tearing that piece off. But yeah, you don't need a lot overhanging the top and the bottom. I guess, you know, you're not wanting to waste your wallpaper. You're wanting to get the best value out of each roll as you can. But, you know, I don't know whether you've seen my Temu wallpaper video. Temu, inverted commas, wallpaper video, which is essentially contact paper. And it's just impossible pretty much, unless you get it on right the first time. If you have to move it to adjust it, it's pretty well impossible to put on and get right on gyprock anyway, or drywall, because it's like when you put sticky tape on paper and you try to get it off, it sort of rips it. And essentially that's what the contact paper was doing when I was trying to pull it off. It was so hard, and in the end it just sort of ripped the wall off with it. So this one was so easy to adjust though. When I pulled it and had to adjust it, because of the paste hadn't dried, it just pulls off and is easy. Another thing, trying to get bubbles out, but this never really had many or any bubbles actually. It did crease a few times a little bit, and then I would just sort of pull the paper off. I think it creased because the top wasn't in line somehow, and I just sort of pulled it off and pulled the top off and restuck it on, and it was all good. So on the final strip, I'm just applying the glue to the wall with a brush just to get into the corners. And funnily enough, this actually was perfect. I think it took 5 or 6 strips, but it fit in absolutely perfectly. I did have to cut a little bit off the edge where the wall sort of joins at a 45-degree angle, but yeah, that was fluky. Also, when joining the pattern up, I overlapped probably just a couple of millimeters. You don't want the wallpaper butting up with each other. You want it overlapping slightly. And the result of this was just a perfect join. It was the most beautiful join, and I guess that's also what you get with good quality wallpaper as well. So this was bought from Wallpaper Direct, and it is, a proper wallpaper company. That's what they do. So it is a very good quality wallpaper, and I was really, really pleased with it. So to be honest with you, comparing the paper wallpaper with peel and stick, normal, good quality peel and stick wallpaper, I would use again. I would never ever get the contact paper to put on my walls ever.
I don't think so. No.
But out of both of the peel and stick and this, I think I prefer this, apart from the fact that it is a bit fiddly as far as the glue goes, and a little bit messy. And there are bits that they're like you see there that don't stick down, but it's easy enough just to go back and pop a little bit of glue on there. But this wallpaper, there is no comparison, I don't think, with the peel and stick. Of course, if you're renting, this won't be an option. But if you're not renting, this is my preference. It didn't take me long to do the whole wall. It probably took me, I didn't time it, but probably a couple of hours at the very most. The next day I went in hoping it was all still up. So it's not like peel and stick that peels off itself. It was all up, and it looked really, really pretty. You can't notice any of the joints. It just looks completely seamless. And even up close, when you look at the joins, they're just, they're not noticeable at all. Like I said, the paper is really smooth. It's a nice smooth paper. And I really, really do love the pattern. I don't know what you guys think, but I think it's really pretty, and it'll make for a nice bedroom. I've yet to decorate it. I've got to buy a bed and put it in, but as you can see here, that's where the join is meant to be, right there, and you can't notice anything. So as far as putting the wallpaper up and the ease of it, the price of it, it was delivered quickly. I think it cost me an extra $25 to have it delivered. Perfect. I love it, and I would recommend it myself. On the Wallpaper Direct website, they have so many different types of wallpapers to suit all different types of budgets. I was trying to keep mine very minimal, but yeah, I really love it. I did have to cut a little bit off the edges there too, but that was all good. I've bought some more paper, not this, but I've bought a floral one for the lounge room. I'm going to be putting on underneath the dado rail, so stay tuned for that video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you have an amazing week, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now. You might have seen my Kmart peel and stick wallpaper video, and I put it on like that. So I just went in whole boots and all and put it on like that, and that was the wrong thing to do. The wall that I have is actually, if you imagine a 50-cent piece, and